And there you go, folks. The traditional celebration, and this time it's Germany to get a chance to lift the Naismith Trophy.
So that was Germany celebrating in front of one of the biggest world champion signs I ever seen in my life. I feel like FIBA did that on purpose to send the message to the NBA that whoever wins in this tournament is really the world champions, 100% world champions. They defeated every other nation in the world. In this case, they defeated Serbia, which was a very tough team. And going into this match, I had Serbia as the favorite because they had been playing amazing basketball. Guys, leave me a comment. Did you have Serbia winning this game against Germany before it started? I feel like a lot of people were rooting for Serbia. I feel like most people thought Serbia was going to pull this off, but it was going to be a battle. I knew this was going to be a battle because both teams were playing exceptional basketball. I mean, the way Germany took care of the U.S. That was a little embarrassing for the U.S. I feel like that defeat was so demoralizing for the U.S. that they could not mentally recover and then lost to Canada. So U.S. is being left without a medal in this FIBA World Cup. In the previous one, they didn't even get a medal either. So in FIBA, the U.S. is doing terrible. Anyway, let's look at some of these highlights from this game. Serbia, Germany. Let's take a look.
Look at that bounce pass. Tice into Footman.
Beautiful.
Bogdanovic steps back. Good! Bogdan Bogdanovic playing like an MVP. Schroder. Well, he was on the court, the hardwood. Got to go quick. Avramovic for three. It's good. Avramovic. They could either tie it or try to win it with a three. Schroder gets in. He goes fast. That dude can go fast.
Outstanding.
Germany have done it. They have conquered the world. Brilliant performance from Aleksa Avramovic and Bogdan Bogdanovic, all World Cup long, but it's the team in white, Germany.
So that was some of the highlights. As you can see, it was a tough battle for this championship. Germany well deserved this championship behind Dennis Schroder with 28 points in this final game. What I like about this FIBA World Cup, it kind of reminds me a little bit of college basketball in a way, is in the sense that it's like one and done. You know, the NBA is a series, 7-game series, but in FIBA, every game is so important. So you got to really be able to show up. You cannot have a bad game in FIBA. You have a bad game in FIBA, that could cost you your whole chances of winning the whole thing. And Dennis Schroder, he showed up. Franz Wagner, who I think is the future of this German team, very young player, currently plays for the Orlando Magic as well, 22 years old. He missed 4 games in this tournament, so a lot of people didn't see him in action throughout the tournament because he missed those 4 games. But the rest of the games that he played, he had a significant impact, not just in the scoring. Today he had 19 points and 7 rebounds, a very good all-around player, and a lot of people don't know about him because he plays for the Orlando Magic, which really a lot of people don't talk about the Orlando Magic. But if he was in another team, if he was in a championship contending team, people will know more about this player. He is the future of the German team, in my opinion. I also got to give a big credit to the coaching staff. You could tell sometimes behind the huddle, the coaching staff was not playing any games. There were some arguments even back and forth between Schroder and the coaching staff because these people were determined to win this tournament. This is the first time that Germany wins this tournament, the FIBA World Cup. So for them, it's a huge deal, and I feel like this team is going to carry this momentum going into next year's Olympics in Paris. So that's going to be interesting to watch. And for Serbia, this is a very tough loss. I mean, I feel like a lot of people were rooting for this team because they didn't have their main star, Nikola, the Joker. he didn't play because, you know, he had a very long season in the NBA and he won the championship, and I feel like he deserved a rest. But, I mean, you got to admit, you put Nikola in this Serbian team and there's a good chance they would have won this whole thing. I mean, you know, they lost by 6 points. Imagine what Nikola could have done in a game like this. Nikola is kind of like a robot. He doesn't care what's going on. He's going to deliver points, assists, and rebounds. He's very consistent. So, you know, I feel like a lot of the teams didn't put all their best players in the FIBA World Cup, but when it comes to the Olympics next year, that's when everybody goes, all the teams go all out and they bring in their big guns. And that's what the U.S. is going to need to do to win, you know, to really come back from this disaster of a FIBA World Cup in the next Olympics. But Serbia, you know, they struggled. In terms of shooting percentage, this was one of the worst shooting percentage games that they had the whole tournament. 41.9% shooting, and typically they were shooting over 52%. So going into this game, both these teams were shooting lights out. Germany was usually shooting around 52, 53%. So even for them, this was a low percentage game. And for Serbia, this was a very low percentage game. There were some games in the tournament that Serbia shot 63%. Or 62%, like something crazy. I mean, if you put it into perspective, you know, the defense in this tournament is so tough that scoring is not as easy as it is in the NBA. So for a team in this tournament to be shooting 63% like they did in some of these games, it was crazy. And that's why I feel like they were blowing out a lot of teams. The one team that they lost to during the tournament was Italy, in which they shot really bad. I think they shot around 48%. So that was Serbia's worst shooting percentage for the whole tournament. But aside from that, they were shooting lights out. Very efficient game. A lot of their players are very efficient and they're tough. They play some tough defense. So when you have some tough defense and then your scoring is so efficient, that's what made Serbia so deadly. And I feel like in the next Olympics, Serbia is going to want payback against Germany. Serbia is going to take this as motivation that they were this close to being world champions. And I keep an eye out for Serbia, because in the next Olympics next year, that's going to be interesting to watch. They are a tough, efficient team. So looking at the German team, you know, Dennis Schroder, he led the whole tournament he led the whole team in scoring, 19.1. Franz Wagner, 16.8. Moritz Wagner, 11.9. And Franz Wagner led the team in rebounding. And in assists, Dennis Schroder. Now let's look at Serbia. Bogdanovic led the whole team in scoring, 19.1. And in rebounds, Nikola Jokic. So, but I do feel that Serbia was missing that one more consistent piece in terms of scoring. Serbia was a very well-rounded team, but they needed that one other guy. They needed that one other consistent 20 or a consistent 17 points a game in games like this that would have put them over the top. But overall, much respect to both these teams. Congratulations to Germany on their first big win in the FIBA World Cup. They truly are the world champions. You listening, NBA players? These guys are truly the world champions. And I feel like basketball is changing in the eyes of fans, because they're starting to see, basketball fans are very smart. They're starting to see the weakness in the NBA game compared to the international game. And they're starting to realize that some of the rules that have been made in the NBA over the years has weakened and diluted NBA basketball. And so when it comes to this stage, this big international stage, some of these NBA players are just not used to it. So it's a huge wake-up call for NBA players. And my hot take for this video is that Team USA, even if they bring their best in the Olympics next year. They're going to struggle. Remember 2004. Look at that stacked team. That team was stacked. They did not win the gold medal. It had LeBron in his prime, Carmelo in his prime, Dwayne Wade in his prime, and they lost. So just because they got the big guns, if they bring the big guns next year to the Olympics, it does not guarantee anything. That's my hot take. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this FIBA World Cup tournament. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps out. Peace.